Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Shenanigans Show. So, in this video and in next week's video as well, I'm going to be talking about two apps that I really love using and that I really enjoy, but I'm also going to specifically be talking about where I think these two apps can improve, what I think they could make and update to their app. As you can tell from the title and thumbnail of this video, this one is specifically for the Book of the Month app, and then next week is for the Storygraph app. And these two video ideas came to me because when I was using like both of the apps at once essentially and going back and forth between the two to add a book to my currently reading pile, I distinctly remember thinking, oh, I wish the Book of the Month app would do this, and oh, I wish the Storygraph app would do that. So that's where these video ideas came from. Again, this week is Book of the Month, next week is the Storygraph app. If there's anything you would like to see them change or add to their apps, or if you agree or disagree with me, please comment down below on this specific video. And with all of that said, let's get into this video. So these are 6 things that I wish the Book of the Month app would make and update to their app. Down below is just a basic bare bones list of these things, and then I will be elaborating more. And that'll be the same for next week's video as well. So the first one I want them to add, update, change is I kind of want them to give an overall progress, the first thing that I wish they would add, update, change is I would love an overall update. The first thing that I would love them to add, update, change is I would really appreciate and love an overall progress in audiobooks option, because with most other audiobook apps or platforms, reading platforms that offer audiobooks, they offer both in chapter progress where you can see like, oh, I'm 5 minutes out of a 10-minute chapter, and they also let you see the overall progress in the book, like, oh, I'm an hour into this 6-hour book. And Book of the Month only lets you see the in-chapter progress, which gets really annoying when you're updating in the Storygraph app or even in Goodreads, which I haven't used in at least a year plus. Because you can't update by chapter in either of the apps, and you can't update by minutes into a chapter. You can only update by the hours and minutes you are into the book. And it gets to a point where it's like you can maybe add up like the first couple of hours, like, 60 minutes is an hour, 120 minutes is 2 hours, and so on. But it gets to a point where it's like that, doing that kind of a thing and adding up the minutes is a little bit too time consuming, and you just give up. And it just kind of annoyed me because it's like I am listening to audiobooks a lot, but when I'm listening to them in the Book of the Month app, I just give up on updating my progress. And I do like seeing my overall progress with how many hours I've listened to in a certain month, especially when an audiobook overlaps into the next month. I like being able to see how many hours I listen to of audiobooks, but I can't add that into the database because I can't update by chapters. So that is something that I would like to see, like an overall progress in the audiobooks in the Book of the Month app. I know that Audible, when you have like the book itself open, the audiobook itself open, you see the in-chapter progress open, but when you like close out, well, if you're still letting it play, and like you lower the screen thing to continue scrolling through the app, the Audible app, while you're still listening, I know you can select an option to see your overall progress in the book. I did not explain that well, but hopefully that made sense. So even if it's something as like when you have like the book itself open, you see the in chapter progress, but when you like minimize it to look through the rest of the app and still listen, you can like maybe see in the overall book progress. It can be something as simple as that. The next one I kind of would like them to add, update, make, is giving readers, giving users the ability to rate a book more than once. I am all for like rating books, like, let me rephrase this before I get it out. I am all for reading books. Reread books as many times as you want. I do that all the time. I don't do it as much as I would like, but I do really try to reread Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit at least once a year. And so I am all for rereading books and doing that. And on the one hand, I wouldn't want to be reading a book more than once in the span of 1 year. But maybe like next year, if I, like last year, let's say, in 2025, I read one of my Book of the Month books. And then this year, 2025, I reread it. I kind of want that ability to rate it a second time if I so need, because even in the span of a year, opinions can change, and you may still love a book, but you might want to elaborate a little bit more in your little review or your rating in the Book of the Month app. Or even going so far as just to simply like edit your review and then have like a timestamp of when it was edited. But like letting readers rate a book more than once, review it more than once, because reviews, ratings, feelings can change over time. The next one I would like them to make, change, update, add, is to remove the word count from reviews. And this one is like, I'm kind of in the middle with this one, just personally, because usually when I'm reviewing a book, I do kind of keep it on the short and sweet side, but sometimes if I want to know someone else's opinion, but sometimes if I feel like I need to elaborate more, I don't want to be like constricted by a word count or a character count. And character counts are so annoying because those include spaces and periods as well, and commas. But I don't want to be constricted by a word count if I want to write a longer, lengthier review, because sometimes those are needed, especially with books that have harder topics. So just remove the word count. Yes, short and sweet reviews are great sometimes, and you can be like, okay, this person did or did not like this book. But sometimes you do need a longer review, and it can get annoying if you can't fully lay out your thoughts because of a word count or a character count. The next one I wish they would add, this one is like a make/add, is I want them to have a DNF option for books, because I know that they have a didn't read option for books, but I feel like we need to have it a little bit more nuanced by adding that DNF option, because there are quite a few books that I had to mark as didn't read even though I got halfway through it. And for me at least, if I got halfway through it or more before DNFing it, then I read it and I tried to read it, and it doesn't fit nicely under didn't read it, because yes, I didn't finish it, I DNF'd it, but that doesn't mean I didn't read it. That doesn't mean I didn't try. So having that DNF option for books, I feel like is a good thing, and also having like an explanation like the Storygraph does. Don't let readers rate it, but giving like an explanation section if they so choose, to be like, this is why I DNF'd it. The next one is The next one is more of like a change slash update one, but I wish they would make it more obvious in the books you need to read section. I wish it was more obvious which books fit under what categories. This is more so in regards to completing reading challenges in the Book of the Month app. And I know that they do distinguish between the audiobook version and physical books that you get from Book of the Month. But I do think that they need to start including some of their other categories, like debut authors or performed by the author or over 500 pages, because I know they have those specific reading challenges for the Book of the Month app, and I don't want to have to keep returning to like the all books page to search up that one book or to look up those categories and see if any of the books that I have fit under that. And that's why I think they need to make it more obvious in that specific section of your personal books or the reading section what books fit under what categories. Like I said, if it's a debut author, or if it's performed by the author, or if it's over 400 pages, or what genres they are, because I know one of the challenges from last year was like read a variety of different genres or a certain number of genres. So just making it more obvious, those like little categories, so to say, without having to go to the all books pages and then go to the specific categories. Make it more obvious in the books you need to read section. The last one is something I wouldn't want them to add, is to have like a yearly wrap-up section for readers to see some like bare bones statistics for their Book of the Month specific reading. I know that I read a lot in Book of the Month. A lot of my books that I read, I would say maybe like around 25% of the books I read are from Book of the Month. And I would kind of like to see what that 25% of the book looks like. And I would kind of like to see what that 25% looks like. And I'm not going to get that through the Storygraph app, because the Storygraph app doesn't like distinguish between like hardcover and Book of the Month hardcover, which I'm not mad about. I don't mind that, but it's like I would like to see my Book of the Month specific statistics in the Book of the Month app, because that would be like interesting to see like what genres I gravitated more towards in Book of the Month, which ones I liked more, which ones I didn't like more, if there was a specific author, and so on. So that is what I would like for that specifically. So that is the end of this video. Again, if you agree or disagree with any of these, or if there's anything else you would like the Book of the Month. So that is the end of this video. Again, if there's anything that you agree or disagree with, or anything you would like to see the Book of the Month app update, change, make, add, comment down below in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.